Preserve your energy for the people that need you, for the actions you can take that require that energy. James Altucher, Reinvent Yourself. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of our Life Lessons videos here at Step Up to Greatness with me, your greatness facilitator, Dustin Gruss. This, of course, is your place to get your tips, tricks, life hacks, inspiration, motivation, stories, metaphors, similes, homilies, whatever else you want to call them, all geared and moving you forward towards a life of greatness. Don't forget, we have our midweek pick-me-up with the SU2G podcast, available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other podcast providers, all distributed through Anchor.fm, but available on my personal page as well, along with these videos, stepuptogreatness.com. You can also check out information on having me speak for you and your company, doing some one-on-one or small group coaching, as well as my all-new online course geared at helping you reach your goals. So definitely check out stepuptogreatness.com. Preserve your energy for the people that need you. The way I'm looking at what James Altucher is saying here is reserve your energy and the actions you can take for things that you can do to lift up and encourage and inspire and bring others together. So much of what's going on right now is creating a divide between people. And we know what the social events are out there. So don't need to really get into those, bring those up. We know what it is. But they've gotten so bad where I've actually taken a personal hiatus from my personal social media content. I'm only posting through Step Up to Greatness so I can use my energy to lift up you all. But it's not always easy to not give in to the negative energy. Believe me, I know. When people are attacking something you believe in, something you feel strongly about, it is hard to maintain the peace and kind words, especially when it comes from somewhere you didn't think it would come from. To share a quick story with you all, before I took the personal hiatus from social media, and there was things going on with social media that also led me to, like, I don't need to see any of this, but we had a individual in our neighborhood that came to our door to ask us what a sign in our yard meant, claiming he doesn't pay much attention to the media or social media and had no idea what it meant. So he came onto our property up to our door. I proceeded to tell him as best as I could what it meant, or what I believed it meant. And before I even got a few sentences in, he proved that he was playing ignorant, playing devil's advocate, and proceeded to tell me that I was wrong. What the sign in my yard stood for was wrong. And proceeded to rattle off web pages that I should go check out to prove that I'm wrong. So he played ignorant and came onto my property. He came to my door. And it was very disappointing because up to this point, I've only had really positive interactions with this man. Dating back to the time where I was 2 years old. My parents lived in the same neighborhood. This man would mow my parents' lawn so that when my dad would come home from work, he could play with us kids instead of having to worry about doing yard work after a long day of work. And then since we moved into this neighborhood, he's always been a kind man. But when he came to our door to then start spewing his own opinion and beliefs, interrupting me on my peaceful words and trying to tell him what I believed things meant. It was frustrating. It was alarming. Now this man is older, of an older generation, and he grew up a certain way, was brought up a certain way, and it takes a lot to break those kind of walls down. But nonetheless, I was frustrated to the point I wanted to let other neighbors know what he had been saying and doing. I wanted to just be very vengeful at him because of the way I felt personally attacked. Thankfully, I had my parents to talk to, I had my wife to talk to, and I had my good friend Matt to talk to, who helped put things together for me, put them in a new perspective. And one of the most interesting things said to me was from Matt, who said that, this guy was, like I said, brought up a certain way and stuff, and what he knew about us and what he knew about what the sign in our yard said, those two things didn't connect in his mind because of the way he was brought up. So he doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. And hearing that made me realize, like, okay, I get it. I can see the confusion there, the disorientation that an older gentleman would be feeling. But I also know that I've always been a believer in killing people with kindness, not literally killing them, but being friendly to them as possible, no matter how they treat you. That way, at the end of the day, even if they're rude and crass and mean to you, you've at least done what you could, and you've been the bigger person. And that's how I'm approaching this future relationship with this man. Yes, there's been times where I've wanted to tell him I think he's number one, but I realized that's not what Jesus told me to do. The same Jesus that this guy says he follows, even though his words were not of the same Jesus that I know. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue to kill this man with kindness, be kind to him, be friendly to him as possible, and if we have those meaningful conversations, great. I'm not going to back down from what I believe. I'm always someone that's willing to listen to someone else, if they're coming from a place of reason. But I didn't feel this man was coming from that place. Thankfully, my wife pulled me in. But if he's coming from a place of unreason, of just pure hate, then I'm not going to waste my energy on it. And I encourage you to do the same. Kill people with kindness. Use your words and time and energy for good. Don't try to shout over other people or confront them with hate. Be kind. Encourage one another. And maybe, just maybe, if you keep preserving your energy for the people and the actions and the things that you can do that need that focus, then we can all together keep moving forward and step up to greatness. Peace.